All right, so tonight we are continuing our amazing series of The Art of Being Human. And for tonight's class, I want us to have a special class in honor of the fact that we're in this period of time which is called Shovavim. Okay, Shovavim, so it's actually an acronym for these parshias of, it stands for Shmot Ve'era Ba B'Shalach Yisam Mishpatim. And these are these weeks which we speak about the Yetzias Mitzrayim. And so there's an interesting Kabbalistic idea that the weeks of Shovavim are somewhat connected to Shalom. Shalom. Hey, Shalom. So there's an idea that these weeks that we're in, these weeks of Shovavim from Shmos until Mishpatim, so that they're connected to dealing with a certain particular issue, which is sexual issues, sexual morality, immorality, and specifically the Arizal talks about that is connected with men with the idea of spilling seed. And I want to speak about a certain backtrap, a certain backstory to the whole concept of sexual morality. First of all, what does this have to do with the weeks of Shovavim? So a couple of things. First of all, that we find in the Torah that the land of Egypt is called, that Yosef always calls it Ervat Haaretz. He calls it the nakedness of the land. It's like the Torah calls it something about sexuality, which is connected to the land of Egypt. And so to say that the Exodus from Egypt is trying to exit that place of sexuality, and the Torah actually says very clearly that it tells us in Parshas Achimais that Kamaisei Eretz Mitzrayim Asher Yishavtem B'lo Yisasum, that there's a special prohibition that don't do like they used to do in Egypt. And it says that like they used to do in Egypt, that's a reference to general sexual immorality. It says that specifically that there was a lot of homosexuality in Egypt. And it says that like the sexual immorality, like the kings of sexual immorality is the Egyptians, like the ancient Egyptians, that's why Hashem is telling us that we shouldn't be influenced by the fact that we're part of that civilization for so many years, and we should try to eradicate that from our system and try to get rid of that. And so the exodus from Egypt is, in a certain sense, the exodus from sexual immorality, and in a kabbalistic sense. These weeks we're talking about the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. So this is actually the weeks where we're talking about the building of the Jewish people, and this is the time that we became a nation, like in a very, very primal way, in a very basic way, that this is the weeks that we became who we are. And so there's something about sexuality that in Kabbalah is called Yesod. In Kabbalah, the word that we use for sexuality is Yesod. Yesod means foundation. And in other words, that the foundation of something is the thing that it's all dependent on. So the entire existence, the entire reality is all, the foundation of everything is sexuality. So that's how everything comes into fruition. That's how everything comes into realization. So there's something very, very basic about, like when we're talking about the building of a nation, the building of a family, the building of a life. So the foundation of everything is this. So that's why in the weeks that we're talking about the building of the Jewish people from the time that we were in Egypt to the time that we received the Torah, and which is Mishpatim. So that's why this is really the underlying theme of becoming something is all dependent on refining and perfecting the element of sexuality. So for tonight, so I want to speak about somewhat of an underlying theme. I'm not going to speak about sex addiction itself. That's at least not tonight. Also, it's very different between men and women. I want to speak about one of the underlying themes, and something that even before the need for sexuality itself. I want to speak about the things that lead to addictions to scrolling in general, which is and as a next step of that is the addictions to porn. Okay? And that's something that in a way that we can speak about this in a way that's the same for men and women, and something which is very basic, and I think is very relevant to these weeks that we're in. So the first thing that I want to put on the table that I think is a game changer in everything that we're going to be speaking about tonight is that according to the Torah, so sexuality is not something which is impure. It's something which is very holy, and the drive for sexuality is something which is something which is coming from a very, very, very high place, from a very, very elevated place, and so this is something that is actually it's based on the Zohar. The Zohar says a very interesting thing in Parshas Toldos. It says that the story which is told in the Gemara in Yuma. It says that the members of the Great Assembly, the Anshe Knesset Gdola, so it says that they didn't like that the Jewish people were messing up with idolatry. That was a problem in the Jewish people. It was like, for anybody who reads Tanakh, it was a constant issue that going back to idolatry. So they wanted to do away with the need for idolatry, and so they did something spiritual, and that's why. Like, if you're ever wondering, why is it that if you read Tanakh, it seems like they always have this urge to go to idolatry, and how come we don't have that? So it's because we have to be very grateful to Anshe Knesset Gdola, because they did something spiritual to change the way that human beings function, that we no longer have this desire to worship idols. So it says that they did that, and then when they did that, they felt like they were on a roll. And he said, once we've fixed idolatry, let's fix sexuality as well. Let's get rid of the lust for sex in general, because that's number 2 problem. And so it says, so now at this point there's a difference between the Gemara and the Zohar. Okay, so there's 2 approaches given. So the Gemara says that they weren't sure if they were going to do it. So they took this Yetzer Hara, they took this spiritual being that's in charge of sexuality, and they put him in jail for 3 days, and they didn't want to kill him yet, and they just put him in just a purgatory, and so during those 3 days, so no animals had relations with each other. Nothing procreated, and so they realized that without the desire to procreate, so then the world would just not survive. And so they realized that this is not a good idea. So that's why they decided not to kill the Yetzer Hara for sexuality. So that's the Gemara. The Zohar says an interesting thing. The Zohar in Parshas Toldos says a different response. The why wasn't a good idea, and the Zohar says that they responded. One of the members of the Anshe Knesset Gdola responded that Chas v'Shalom, it's tzrich Yetzer Hara le'olam kimitra le'olam, that the world needs sexual desire just like it needs rain. Dilmali Yetzer Hara ched v'sad d'shmai tzala lehavi, because if it wouldn't be for the Yetzer Hara, then if it wouldn't be for the desire for sexuality, then there would be no excitement in learning. There would be no excitement in learning at all. And so we're going to understand a little bit better what exactly this means, why specifically excitement about learning. But we see that the Zohar, that really the core energy which is being expressed through sexuality and through sexual desire is not something which is impure whatsoever. It's actually coming from a very, very beautiful place, coming from the same place which makes us excited about holiness, which makes us excited about Torah. So that's the very same energy which is drawing us to the wrong places. So what does this mean? How could it be that this very same energy could bring a person to be excited about Torah and to be excited about going to bad places? So what does this really mean? So I want to share with you a very beautiful, very basic and very necessary teaching for the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, he calls this the Sod HaChashmal. Sod HaChashmal is something. It's a term that he coined for how a person is to do tshuva in general, and in different places, it's called different things. Some places he calls it Sod Chashmal. In other places, he calls it the Sod of Hachna, Havdalah, Hamtaka. Okay, so what are these three things? This is the Baal Shem Tov's antidote to any problem that you have. That whenever you see that you're doing something negative, so how to fix all of whatever problem it might be that you have. So he says that there's 3 steps: Hachna, Havdalah, Hamtaka, and he works this into the words Chashmal. So what does this mean? So Hachna means for lachnia is to stop something. So just stop. Like once while you're doing something wrong, then there's no one to talk to. You have to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. You have a bad habit. Just stop. Just stop. There's a clip about some psychologist that just stop. Just stop. It's harder if you don't think you can stop. So if someone tells you just stop, then okay, you can stop. The first thing is to know that you could stop. Do whatever it takes to stop. Tell yourself that every time you don't do it, you're going to have to pay 20 shekel to tzedakah, and some people don't like that because they like giving tzedakah, so they just keep on doing the whatever it is that they don't want to do, and they just keep on giving tzedakah. So then they say, every time I do something I don't want to do, I'll burn 20 shekel, right? And something that's gonna bother you, and something or the opposite, or to reward yourself, just to tell yourself that I'm gonna have this amazing chocolate cookie every time that I control myself, and so to just get yourself into the right state of mind, to just force yourself into doing it, and then once you're doing the right thing, then you can start talking to yourself. So after the Hachna comes the Havdalah. What's the Havdalah? Havdalah means to discern between in the desire that you had for this particular bad habit, for this particular bad thing. So to discern that there was part of you that was looking for something good, and part of it that was looking for something bad. In other words, that if I'm always telling people that I'm critiquing people, I'm always yelling at people, I'm always telling people that they're messed up. So to look deep into why was I actually doing that? Why am I actually telling people that they're so off? So it's coming from a desire for control, right? And desire for control is actually something beautiful, because to be out of control, that's horrible, right? Nobody wants to be out of control. So the desire for control is actually, in its essence, is actually something very beautiful. What's the problem? The problem is that there's also a bad element of control, and that's when I'm controlling other people, and I'm trying to put them on to the way I would like them to be, and that's a negative expression of my holy desire for control. And so Havdalah means to discern between the good parts of control and the bad parts of the control. So control is very good when I'm controlling myself, and control is very bad when I'm controlling other people. Right? But the desire for control is a beautiful thing, to be lost and to be falling, and to feel that I'm just completely falling apart. So that's a negative thing, and it's a holy thing that I want to feel control. And it's just there's to have Havdalah, to have a discerning between the good control and the bad control. And then there's the Hamtaka. Hamtaka literally means to sweeten. Means that the reason why I'm taking my desire for control to a bad place is because I'm not able to give it to a good place. So if I would give my desire for control a positive expression in the right control, in the holy control, in the sweet control, so then I won't have this need to control people in the wrong way. Okay, that's what he says. So he says that this is hinted to in Chashmal, because chash, the word chash means to be quiet. It means shh, 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 shh. Somebody's saying something, is doing something bad. So shh, shh, just stop. So the first step is just stop. That's chash. Then mal, he says, has 2 meanings. First of all, from in Brit Milah, so it means cutting. And that's the Havdalah. And another word, milah, is when you say something, so it's expression is also the word mal. So chashmal has 2 meanings. So chash, first be quiet. Then mal, do Havdalah. Then mal, milah, which is a word, which is to express, meaning to have a positive, holy expression of the core. So now this is one of the most essential things that Baal Shem Tov ever taught, because what he's really saying is that there's no such thing as evil. Really, everything which is evil is actually just a negative expression of something which is inherently good. So that whenever I'm doing something bad, even if I'm a horrible person, there's no such thing as a horrible person. That a person who's doing everything wrong, really, what he's doing is that he's misexpressing something which could have been good, and just he's not finding the right outlet for that positive inherently desire. Okay, so this is the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov, which is really enlightening. I once read this book, which built a whole clinical model based on this Torah of the Baal Shem Tov, and at the end he had 5 case studies, and one of the most fascinating case studies that he did is that he once used this to help a pedophile. he was once like that he was like that he was once like, he was a psychiatrist. He once had this pedophile come to him, and he tried to explain to him. He said, "You're not a bad person. You just want love. You just want love." And he didn't believe him. Like he hated himself. He was don't think these people are happy with themselves. These people want to kill themselves. These people that feel horrible about what they're doing. And like he was very, very, very bitter. And he was laughed this yeah, I'm just looking for love. That's what I am. Like he was sure that he was a disgusting piece of garbage. He was sure that he's subhuman. And it took months for him to be open to the possibility that no, I'm not pure evil. That this is just a misexpression. This is a misrepresentation of something which actually is okay. I'm not, in my core, I'm actually okay. I'm just expressing it in the wrong way. Okay? So this is the Sada Chashma. Now, the Magdim is rich, his student, so he says something very fascinating. And there's a Gemara that says, Gemara in Kiddushin, it says, Barasi Yetzirah, Barasi Torah Tavlim. That Hashem says that I created the Yetzirah, and opposite the Yetzirah, I created the Torah as an antidote, as a tavlin. So a tavlin, literally tavlin means a spice, right? So the simple understanding of tavlin in this situation is because medicine is like spices, so that's why he uses the word. But the Magen Mizrich in the Sefer says that the fact that the Gemara uses the word tavlin, it also is inferring that it's like you're making a dish and you have meat and you have the spices. Or in other words, that the Gemara is calling the Yetzirah the meat, and the Torah is just the spices to spice the meat. Meaning that the main thing, your essence is your Yetzirah, and the Torah is just like a little put some salt and pepper to make your Yetzirah taste good. So, but really, the essence is the Yetzirah. So this is a radical way of looking at my Yetzirah is not bad. My Yetzirah is me. My Yetzirah is my energy. It is my desire to live. It is my desire to connect. This is mamish who I am. And the Yetzirah, it's not bad. It's just you need spices. If you don't spice the meat, it's going to be very dull. It's going to be very bad. And if you just leave it out, it's just going to be rot. And it's through the spices that the meat becomes tasty. And so this is we are our Yetzer. This is our desire for creativity, a desire for existence, a desire for expansion, a desire for creativity is for everything good. It's just that without the Torah, it's going to be misexpressed and it's going to go to bad places, which is going to mamish mess us up. So this is this is the first intro, I think, to this discussion of all of the people who are going into addictions to scrolling, addictions to porn. To know that whatever is behind this is something positive, and the only reason why they're going to these bad places is only because they don't understand that it's really coming from someplace good. Okay, so I want to speak about four reasons why people tend to go to bad places and go to habits that don't serve them, and try to understand what is the negative expression of this thing and what is the positive thing that they're actually deep down yearning for. Yeah, you want to say something?
The analogy of the meat with spices,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to maybe ask a little bit of clarification. You're saying that when you have different spices on the meat, you'll use the meat differently? You'll change the way?
That the Yetzirah is actually not ra, it's actually just energy. And without energy, then you have nowhere to go. You can't start. And it's through the Torah. The Torah allows you to direct your energy, your core energy, in a positive way.
So you're saying we're like meat regardless, but the flavor gives us power?
Yeah, not power, it's a direction. Direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it called Yetzer Hara if it's not bad?
I because without Torah, it's gonna naturally go to Ra. Without Torah, it's gonna naturally be dull, be bland. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think one could argue that the Yetzer Tov is the one bringing the Torah, which is the spices. So, but the idea is that your standard.
So is
right?
everything Yetzer Hara just the way you, I guess, use it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
now I understand. So everything, like too much is something.
So the first thing, I want to speak about four things, four core reasons why we turn to addictive habits that don't really serve us. Number one, boredom. Number two, boredom, which is like person's bored and just like he just is going crazy because he's bored. Number two, that he feels a numbness. Okay, this is much worse. This is much worse than a person who's bored. A person who's bored is a person who's still healthy, and a person who's numb, so he feels like he doesn't feel anything, and he's dying to feel something, and he has no excitement in his life, and nothing matters to him. Person who's suffering in depression, so because he's feeling dead, so he wants something to just wake him up, something to make him feel alive. Okay, that's number two. Number three is that it has a soothing characteristic to it. A person, this is a little bit opposite, a person who has, like, things are going crazy, he has a lot of anxiety, and so this is a way of self-medicating. And number four, that a person has curiosity, and that there's a certain basic feeling of like, what's out there, what's going on, what did this person do, what did I miss? What did I miss? FOMO, and like, what else is there? And so these are four situations that can bring a person to negative habits. And so I want to discuss what is the soul truly yearning for, which is something which is positive, which is something which is natural and should be, and it should be propelling a person forward. And instead, because the person misunderstands it and doesn't have Torah, so that he's allowing it to go to the wrong place. Okay, so one by one. So let's start with the idea of the concept of boredom. So this really starts with the Rambam. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Yisur Bia, Perek Chav Beis, Halacha Chav Aleph, he says that ein machshavas arayos misgaber ela b'leiv panei min hachachma. That the only kind of person that will have a lot of sexual thoughts is only in a heart which is void of wisdom. And that's the quote from the Rambam. So there's lots of commentaries exactly what the Rambam means. On a simple level, so a person is only capable of thinking about one thing at once. So if you're thinking about, like, it is a basic good advice that if you just force yourself to think about anything else, so then you'll be able to just control your thoughts in that sense, and you won't be able to think about negative things. But I think that the Rambam is really saying something more deep than that. And there's a Mishnah in Ksubas Daf Nun Tes that the Mishnah, the Tanaim, they talk about something called batala. So in the yeshivas there's a term bittul Torah, that like the worst thing is bittul Torah. Well, what is batala? So that actually the source of batala is actually talking about women, and it's talking about the responsibilities of a woman in her home, and it says that regardless, it says that like a woman has some basic responsibilities of the home, of like whatever, of like cleaning and cooking, whatever, but that's only if they have money. Then she doesn't have to do it. If it's only like because he's working the whole day, he has to provide for the family. So like she has to take care of the home. But if they have tons of money, so then she doesn't have to do that. And so it says that if they have this much money, that they can afford a baker, then they can do that. If they have a cleaner, they can do it. They can get a cleaner. But then it says that there's some basic. I don't remember exactly what it says, but there's some basic things that she has to do, just because otherwise she's just going to be bored. And she has to make sure that she's not going to be bored, because then there's a discussion in the Mishnah that one time it says because batala nevili de zima, that one says that boredom brings sexual immorality, and the other one says that boredom brings shiamum, which is shiamum. We call shiamum to be bored, but like in the Mefarshim says shiamum means insanity. Actually, a person that's bored, I'm like, ever there's a term, I'm bored out of my brains. So actually being bored they said can actually cause a person to go crazy. Like he quotes that the Targum says of timhon levav is translated by Onkelos as shiamum. Shiamum. So shiamum means to go crazy. A person who's bored is going to go crazy. So first of all, he's going to go crazy, and second of all, he's going to come to sexual immorality. So what is this? So what does this mean for us? That the first enemy, the first thing that's going to bring us to bad places is this element of boredom, and that for a person to feel that like I have nothing to do, so then like I just need to fill it with something. So this is something. This is something. This is really like anything that instead of doing something, so instead of doing it, I can consume. And like so, the consuming gives a person the feeling of that the time is not empty. It's not empty because it's filled with something. Okay, but the truth is that when a person is bored, so it's actually the worst possible situation it could possibly be. That there's an English expression that I think is like, I don't think people think about it, but it's very accurate. That in America we say if I have if right now I'm my next meeting is in 2 hours, so you say I have 2 hours to kill. Okay? and I think about it when I think about these words like to kill, like I think mamish like yes I'm killing 2 hours of my life. But meaning that let's say that these 2 hours weren't now, they were like at the end of my life. Like the doctor said I have 2 hours to live, and then I say that's what I'm doing. I'm killing 2 hours because I was
Because we literally spoke about this today, and it was just, he said this one thing, he was like, guys, if you want to write something down, write this down. So I obviously wrote it. He said...
Who's he?
What's his name? You know his name? Deutsch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Was
the
it
guitar,
Rabbi
the guitar one.
Oh, no.
It was.
That's Rabbi Willie.
Anyways, he said,
Yeah.
because he was talking about the Jewish life cycle, not you are a soul, Tselim Elohim, in the image of God. So he was saying the greatest gift in this world is life, and so killing time is the greatest sin in Judaism. It's suicide to your installment plan.
Exactly.
Because piece by piece you're sacrificing a bit of time here and a bit of time there. And it's like your gift of
You're wasting your
potential.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Tada.
Wow.
So to waste time, to kill time is really suicide. It's really suicide, and that's what I think that there's that the first thing in order to escape this problem, this danger of boredom is to rewire our brains of how we look at free time. Okay. There's something that there's a very interesting thing that I love this. This is my favorite Torah, that in the Jewish calendar, so the night comes before the day, by Erev Vayivoker, right? So it says after Noach, after the flood, so the Torah says that Hashem promises that there's never going to be another flood. And he says that from now on, there's always going to be nature, there's always going to be seasons, there's always going to be Yom v'Layla. So the commentaries note that the Torah says Yom and then Layla, first day and the night. Hold on, this is Judaism. In Judaism, it's supposed to be the first night, then day. Why does it say day, then night? So they explain something very, very fascinating. That is that Noach, so he is the prototype for non-Jews. We call the non-Jews B'nai Noach. So in a Jewish mentality, so the night comes before the day. In a non-Jewish mentality, in a secular mentality, so the day comes before the night. What's the difference? So what do we do during the day? We do stuff. What do we do during the night? We rest. So in the Jewish mentality, so the night comes before the day because we rest in order to do stuff. Whereas in the secular mentality, so the day comes before the night because we work in order to rest. Right? In the secular dream, so I work hard because I'm looking forward to vacation. Right? I'm looking forward to retirement. I'm looking forward to when I can do absolutely nothing. And like the goal is to have nothing to do, to be able to do nothing, to be able to just rest and R&R. And it's like that's the goal. Whereas in Judaism, so I hate doing nothing. I only want to do nothing if that's going to allow me to do something. Because really, when am I feeling present? When am I feeling alive? When am I feeling that this is, I'm happy, I'm feeling satisfaction. I'm feeling satisfaction when I'm doing something, not when I'm doing nothing. Okay? So this is not much like an opposite mentality. That the Jewish mentality is that I'm excited when I'm feeling like I'm doing something. And the secular mentality is I'm excited when I'm doing absolutely nothing. And so like having this rewiring in our brain that what gives me excitement is when I'm doing something. So this is going to help us to avoid having free time. Like it's very sad. I reconnected with a friend of mine that he's my age, and he went into early retirement because he got some inheritance from his in-laws, and he realized that it didn't make any sense for him to work, and so he doesn't really know what to do with his time. Like the morning he learns, he can't really learn in the afternoon because it's too much for him, and so he tries to keep himself busy. It's so sad. I'm trying to keep myself busy. I hope I never get to such a situation that I'm trying to keep myself busy, and so it's the worst situation a person could possibly be. Now, so what should a person do if a person finds himself that I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I have 2 hours to kill. So what do you do? What do you do? So that it depends if you're a Jew or not Jew. If you're a Jew, then you ask yourself, the answer is then that means that I don't have aspirations. That means that I don't have goals. I don't have something that I'm dreaming for. Yeah.
But why wouldn't that person find meaningful work, let's say, and not take a salary, do charity work or tzedakah work, chesed work?
He should, absolutely.
If you have
I'm not saying he should work. I'm not saying that he should work. But he needs to find something that excites him.
Yeah.
The fact that he uses that terminology, that I'm trying to keep myself busy, that means that he's not so busy. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem. The problem is that the person in such a situation, so he finally has the liberty to really ask himself, what can I do that's going to excite me? I'm not forced into working. Now I can do something is there anything that I'm excited about? And if there's nothing that excites me, so then that itself is a problem. What's wrong with me that nothing in the world excites me? So he needs this should catapult a person to some kind of self-exploration, that to ask himself, what actually do I care about? What actually means something to me, to the point that there's plenty to do. There's plenty to do. If you care about all the hungry people in the world, there's so much to do to feed all the hungry people. If you care about domestic abuse, there's so much to do about helping domestic abuse. If you care about just helping people that are in any situation that are just need support. So help soldiers, help STEM girls, help anything. Help anything. There's so much to do. Anything. If does nothing talk to you? Yeah, you're such a loser that you don't care about anything. So this is a person should think about something that he cares about and devote himself to it. Devote himself to with all of his energy, with all of his existence, and that's going to keep you busy. That's not much going to keep you busy. And once you're busy, so then you don't have the number one place for sin. Now, there's a beautiful thing that the Kotzker Rebbe, Menachem Kotzk, so he once said that I don't want Hasidim that don't want to do Averos. I want Hasidim that don't have time to do Averos. That's my goal. I want you to be so into your mission That like it's not about. I don't have to suppress myself. I don't have to say no, don't do that. I just don't have time. I just don't have time. I'm sorry, Yetzirah. Like some other time, maybe in my next lifetime when I'm finished. When I finish feeding all the poor people, so then I'll be able to rob a bank, and then I'll be able to just go on the internet and waste all my time. But like in the meantime, I'm just like I have more important things to do.
But won't all those thoughts and ideas come on Shabbat if the person is resting?
I don't think so. I mean, like it's not like you're never safe, but like there's plenty to do on Shabbos also. Like there's a person should appreciate Shabbos to the point that you're not. If a person feels bored out, I think a person that feels bored out of their brains on Shabbos means that they don't know what Shabbos is all about, and they're not using the Shabbos to the max.
Not bored out of their brains, but sometimes like you're so busy, like you said, like you don't have time to like even do these things, or like
There's no difference between Shabbos and weekday. That just like on the weekday, you should have yourself something that you're living for. So on Shabbos, you should have something that you're living for.
Right.
If you feel like 25 hours to kill, what do I do now? And then I think that you're missing Shabbos. I think that a person that's the way he relates to Shabbos should like maybe I can rethink how I treat Shabbos and how I relate to Shabbos.
To rest, you know.
So maybe you should reassess Shabbos. If your resting Shabbos is getting you bored out of your brains, so then I guess that's not what Shabbos is all about. Right? Okay, so this is the first thing. The first element of that brings a person to negative behaviors, negative habits, is the element of boredom. Okay, so number two is the element of a person who feels numb. So this is something very deep. That something the person feels very dead, and and really the source of this desire to feel something when a person is depressed and when a person is numb, it comes from this. There's a saying that the people who are depressed say that I'd rather feel pain than feel nothing at all. Okay, you've heard this term before? Okay.
You said it backwards.
What?
You'd rather feel nothing than feel the pain.
No, the opposite. No, I'd rather feel pain than feel nothing at all. Okay? That the feeling a person who is depressed, so it's a certain element of numbness. There's a beautiful teaching from the Baal Tanya that he discerns between a broken heart and a depressed heart. Okay? He says that a broken heart is feeling pain, right? And to feel pain is very alive. When a person is hurt, they feel very alive. And as opposed to when a person is depressed, so then when a person is depressed, so then it's not that you're feeling pain, you're feeling nothing. So the feeling a person who's feeling depressed is dead. Okay? The person who's feeling pain is alive. Okay? To be sad is not like, it's a human thing. It's a human thing to feel sad. Some people like being sad. Some people there's a whole genre of theater, of drama, of movies. They're called tragedies. Like it started in ancient Greece, that they started making these tragedies, and what?
Satires.
No,
satire is comedy. But something like people just love sad songs. People that they love sad stories, they love sad videos, and they cry, they sob, you're going to the wrong comes it says. You're going to the wrong comes it says. There's something. Some people enjoy being sad. Okay?
Some people gain inspiration from sadness, like they write poetry.
No, but there's also some sort of like intriguement and like entertainment from these movies and music.
We're talking about the intrigue in a minute. We're talking about the intrigue in a minute, but besides the intrigue, there's also the certain just feeling of being sad. So a person is feeling nothing. So they feel dead.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the worst feeling. Okay, there's it's a horrible thing that like somebody I didn't understand this until a father of someone who is doing this explained it to me that there's people who are in such pain that they hurt themselves, that they cut themselves, and it's a where does it come from? To a healthy person it seems absolutely sick, and he explained to me that they have a certain inner pain from feeling so dead that they need something which can take away their focus from that pain and be focused on this pain. So they're paining themselves in this physical way of cutting themselves because they have a different pain which they can't take, and that's the pain of death. That's the pain of being just non-existent. So sometimes a person is going to feel this numbness, and they want to feel alive. So they go to this artificial way of feeling alive. And so what are they accomplishing by these by scrolling or by porn or other things? So it's simply a dopamine addiction. It's simply that there's hormones inside of you that you get excited about something, and then you want something, and then when you get that thing that you want, so then it fills your body with this feeling of being alive, because that's really the thing that you're craving. That's really the thing you're craving is to feel alive because you're feeling extremely, extremely dead. So what's the problem? What's the problem? The problem is that the reason why you're feeling dead is still there. So the dopamine is going to leave your system in a couple of minutes, a couple of hours max, and then you're going to be back to square one. So you really didn't solve the problem in the least. You just pushed it off. In fact, that you made it worse, because if you would have stayed in your problem and dealt with your problem, then it would take you. It's still going to take you. And if you're feeling so depressed, it's going to take you a lot of healing. It's going to take you a lot of work. And so whatever amount of time it would take you to get out, so now it's going to take you that much time plus 2 hours. You're really getting yourself nowhere, and so that this feeling of death, of feeling dead, this feeling of feeling numb. So it comes from something. Usually, it's coming because it's actually a protection from something else. Usually the reason why a person feels depressed and a person feels numb is that the body puts himself into this feeling of numbness because there's something else that needs to be healed, that the only way to escape that is to feel numb. And now you're so numb that you want to kill yourself because you're dead. So then you want to fill yourself to dopamine to get rid of the feeling of numbness, and you don't realize that no. That really what you need to do is to ask yourself, why am I feeling numb? What is the thing that I'm trying to protect myself from, and how can I heal that? And only then are you going to actually be able to live a normative life, right? So the feeling of numbness is actually a beautiful thing. It's actually a beautiful thing that the Baal Shem Tov says that do a little havdalah, do a little discerning of this feeling of numbness. It's beautiful. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me this numbness, because if it wouldn't be for this numbness, now I would be feeling this pain of my trauma, and that should bring me to the place that now I need to ask myself, what is the trauma? How can I actually heal my trauma? Okay, so that's number 3. That's number 2. Number 3. So the third element that brings a person to these negative habits is that a person is self-medicating. It's a feeling of soothing. It's a feeling of soothing for a person to a person. This is opposite. The person who's feeling anxiety, person who's feeling that like life is too much. So then you go into these habits, and this helps him deal with his anxieties. So how does it help? And why is it not a healthy way to deal with these problems? So the reason why it helps is because it's an escape. Okay, what's it mean that it's an escape? It means that when a person is sucked into their phone, so a friend of mine, so like every 2 days he posts on his status this picture of a person looking at his phone that it's like a vacuum cleaner, sucking his what?
Every 2 days.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like he stopped at some point. So he realized it wasn't working. So people just sucked into their phone. And so when you're sucked into your phone, so then you're not here anymore. It's like the world is dead. The world is dead. And so in psychology we call this disassociation. And that a person through this escape, so I'm not here anymore. So I'm not, like, none of my problems exist because I'm not me anymore. I'm not here anymore. And so,
Maybe you have problems within the phone.
and so it is soothing. It is soothing. A person gets into these into this state of mind that I'm disassociated with myself, and the problem is that the exact same problem with the previous point, that it doesn't solve the problem. It just pushes the problem off.
But there's more problems. There's problems within technology.
Certainly,
It's not really like avoiding problems.
If it wouldn't
it's creating
be,
more problems.
it's certainly true. I think the basic, the fundamental, the starting point of this whole conversation is that a person understands that this is something that is not serving him. Like a person that loves spending 10 hours a day on scrolling, or a person who loves their porn addiction, so is not going to want to help. Like, I think there's we didn't discuss like why is porn addiction bad in the first place? Why is scrolling endlessly bad in the first place? I think it's natural. I think it's natural that the people understand that it doesn't make them feel good about themselves. So you don't even like even the non-Jewish world, even the completely secular world, is realizing there's like that these things are not healthy. They're not doesn't gain a person. Although I will say that there's better arguments and worse arguments. I remember years ago. I was researching what are the dangers, and I think the worst argument I ever saw was from Jordan Peterson, and he said yeah, it's like if you're watching porn, so you're pathetic because wouldn't you rather have sex? And so that was his argument, that you should feel like a loser because you're not having sex. And so oh yeah, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, thank you for helping me realize that. Yes, so I'll just go on some app and help me get sex. So that is the worst reason, the worst reason that to feel bad about myself that I'm. So anyway, but I think that there's better reasons. There's better reasons to feel like a loser, and there's better reasons to feel like this is like I'm not like this is like it's not making me into a better person. This is not, I'm not, besides the fact that I'm not spending my time wisely, so this is not helping me in any way. This is just like this is making me feel just like desensitized. It's making me feel disconnected. It's making me feel more anxious. It's making me feel like that I'm just unambitious. It's holding me back from living my best life, and so there's good reasons why a person should understand intuitively that this is not something that they want for themselves, and so that a person that finds himself in the situation, the problem is that you're telling them that you're not helping anything, that doesn't really help them. Because they're doing it because they do it, and that's why the purpose of tonight is to help a person understand that it actually doesn't solve the problem. To understand like the shorish, to understand the source. What is my motivation? To understand why I'm turning to this thing to help me in some way. Whether it's to kill time, whether it's to undo the numbness, to make me feel alive, whether it's to soothe me because I'm feeling pain, because I'm feeling anxiety, and so like to understand that it's legitimate that I have an issue inside, and it's legitimate that I'm going to these things for help, and just that I'm misinformed because they aren't actually helping me. That's the point of tonight's discussion. Okay? So the last point I want to discuss tonight is the fourth motivation. The fourth motivation. You need some water? You're good. Good. So the last point is, don't feel dead, feel alive. So is the person has curiosity. Okay, because curiosity, and this is something that I think is very it's relevant to both scrolling to porn and lust in general. That first of all, I think like anybody who has anything on their phone, even WhatsApp can be like you have WhatsApp chats, and like you can like just find yourself just scrolling anything, and so there's a certain feeling of just like I need to know more, and at some point we realized that this desire, this curiosity, so it's actually killing us. Okay, they say that curiosity killed the cat, and it really we are that cat. We are that cat, and so yes, like post 9. This is and so we're dead as a
Cat?
dog. We're dead as a dog, right? and so this curiosity is really killing us, and so we have to understand that what we're going against, that in the YouTube, that we have like any social media for that matter, there's somebody out there that is paying trillions of dollars to the most brilliant people in the world, that the entire investment is for one purpose, and that is that you should be glued to your phone.
China.
That you should be completely one after the other, and they know exactly at the end of one reel or one video or whatever, they know exactly how to get that you're going to do the next one, and they know the psychology of us better than we do, and they can control us subconsciously to be able to just keep us on our phone, to keep us just. And so we need to know what we're up against. We need to know that there's this active force, this powerful force of all the money in the world and all the intelligence in the world, that their entire goal is to keep us glued to our phones. So to understand that this is like what we're going against, and to understand that this curiosity that we think that it's just innocent, is like, and the truth is that it's going to kill us. It's going to end up that we're going, like if we let it control us, then we're going to end up like 90 years old and have just been binge watching for 90 years. Okay, and like don't let that be you. So to understand,
that really hit me, Rabbi.
so thank you. So to understand that there's that really that to do a certain havdalah, to understand that actually that curiosity is not inherently a bad thing. That curiosity is actually something very beautiful. A person who's curious. So what are they actually looking for? The number one, that they're looking for something more. They're looking they're looking for something that beyond themselves. They know that like there must be something out there which is exciting, and something which is beyond the surface, something which is going to expand their understanding of life. So the person with this curiosity, it's coming from a very beautiful place, and the truth is that this is the source of all creativity, and that's why this is, I think, what specifically what the Zohar says when it says that the excitement of learning comes from the same place as the desire for lust. This is precisely what it means. There's I read once that there's 3 ingredients to lust.
To what, sir?
Lust.
To lust.
Lust. The mystery, unavailability, and sin. Those are the 3 ingredients. The 3 sin. That the desire to, and like sin is also like curiosity, because like what's sin? Sin is what you're being told not to do. So like there's a certain curiosity of like why didn't they want me to do it? It must be that there's something special about it, right? So like the overarching thing that what creates lust is like this is all mystery, right? This is the all three things are all around the curiosity. So really the very source of lust is coming from something which is creativity, which is like, how can I think out of the box? How can I expand? How can I think about something more? Which is precisely what the excitement of learning is all about. The excitement of Torah is expansion. The excitement, hopefully, like when you're coming to learn Torah, so you're coming to expand your brains. You're coming to think in bigger and better than you did before. To somehow quench your thirst of curiosity. To think that there's wow. So this is the so really the desire for curiosity is something which is inherently very, very, very beautiful and very holy, and so to understand that this is not something that I need to suppress. I don't need to say to stop being curious, but realize that there is a good curiosity and a bad curiosity. And a negative curiosity is something that is just like, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. That's a curiosity that's going to kill us. That's a curiosity that's not going to get us anywhere. And but it's just, if it's just a blank, what's out there without any direction, without
the most powerful because all the other are like suppressing you, right? This one is like
no, for sure. No, but I'm saying, but within curiosity, there is a positive curiosity and a negative curiosity.
Right.
That the positive curiosity is a curiosity that doesn't just say what is that? I wonder what would be, but rather that a positive curiosity is that what is there that can improve my life? What is there that can help me live my life to the fullest? That's a curiosity that's going to get us further. That's a curiosity that's going to. So if somebody else is living a better life than me, what's their secret? That's a beautiful secret. That's a beautiful curiosity. If somebody else is more successful than me, what's their secret? How are they being so successful? How are they doing it? Why are they so popular? Why are they so happy? Why are they so calm? That's a curiosity which is going to get us forward. And that is actually giving us more. That like a person that's going to say, okay, whatever. So I won't be successful. So I won't be happy. So I won't be calm. Like that's a person who's dead. That's a person who there's something wrong with them. That's a person who's depressed. But a person who has this natural curiosity, it's just being misexpressed. It's not given the right channel to the right place. And that's why a person that finds himself super curious and finds himself falling for the trap of the biggest geniuses in the world that are convincing him to press next and continue watching until it's 4 a.m, and then he ruins his next day and continues until you ruined your next 90 years. And so then you should take a step back and say, hold on a second. That I'm not bad. I don't need to. I'm not an evil person. It's so beautiful that I have this curiosity. I just need to realize that I'm expressing my curiosity in ways which are detrimental. I'm expressing my curiosity. I'm giving my curiosity the power where it's actually killing me, and I just need to make a little tweak. I don't need to say there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with who I am. That I have wonderful intuition in the fact that I want more, and I just need to direct it. And that's the Torah Tavlin. That's just like the Torah is giving me the spice. The Torah is maybe giving me the ability to direct my correct feelings into a place that's going to actually make my life better. So I bless us all. We should be able to have very satisfying lives, to have very useful lives, and very lives that are going to get us somewhere, and not fall into the traps of going nowhere, not going into the traps of addictions, of scrolling, of things which are getting us away from our goal. And most importantly, to understand that when we find ourselves falling into negative tendencies, to judge ourselves favorably, to understand the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov, to understand that the core desire, the core motivation is actually something very beautiful and something very holy, and we need the Torah to just direct us to the right way, and then it'll just be just right. Okay. Wow.